Hello and welcome to PaxAriaGaming. This is Reg with episode number 15 of Crimson Desert. We are picking up where we left off in the last episode. We were in chapter 9 of the game, The Sage of the Desert. In this episode, we are going to conclude chapter 9. We did the calling, we did a few other things. We defeated Skavald, the Carrion King, Hyena. We did the Shackles of Fate, where we jumped on the back of a dragon. We did the Spire of the Sun, where we went through to another Abyss Gate. And we had to repair some pensive statues. And that's where we left it. In this episode, we're going to do all of the quests related to concluding chapter 9. Okay, this is where we left off last episode. We had finished those pensive statues. And we are going to start this episode with the Path of the Disciple. So again, it's a multiple part thingy. Basically, it's a series of trials. On what looks like a gorgeous day in Highwell. Yeah, the good thing about this area is that you seem to always be able to fast travel, not seem to, you're able to fast travel back to a point closest to your target. It's a fairly small area that this all takes place in. So I always tend to go back to wherever the closest fast travel point is to the area that we need to get to. So you still have a lot of climbing to do. But at this point in the game, you should have invested in stamina, so climbing really shouldn't be much of an issue. If it is, honey tea is one of those stamina things. There are a bunch of stamina consumables that you can use now, so it shouldn't be an issue. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I guess there are times when the trees obscure your view when you're, I guess I can change whether it's first person or not, and that might actually help. I didn't think to do that. When the trees are in the way like that, and you're like, okay, I'm trying to climb, and the camera angle through the trees is annoying. But there aren't too many things that are super annoying about the game at this point. Earlier, the controls, and sometimes the controls are still a bit of an issue, because you use the same button for several different inputs. It does create a bit of a problem, especially for me at least when I'm fighting a boss. You know, if you don't press, like for instance for me, if you don't press L3 and R3 simultaneously to recoup your spirit, you end up using the Axon Force, because the input is only looking at L3 instead of L3 plus R3. It happens less, but it still happens, as you'll see when we get to boss fights. But it doesn't happen as often as it did, so I guess that's either me being better trained in terms of my fighting. Oops. Yeah, so I sort of left a few bloopers in so you guys can know that not all is perfect. So I ran out of stamina after talking about stamina because I wasn't really watching my stamina, which I should have been. But the good thing is, reviving at a checkpoint which I'm not sure how the game chooses these, put me closer to my actual goal. And in this series of trials, by the way, they are timed, which is what makes them challenging. Because they're timed, your tendency is to want to, make sure you're doing it right, or make sure that you don't miss something. You'll see what I'm talking about. And if you do miss, you still have time. I mean, the time is more liberal than it feels, because there haven't been anything else that's been timed. So, I guess even the horse races aren't timed. It's just whether or not you cross the finish line first, but there's no time. Okay, so let's try this again. And this is not a very long chapter. It's really a chapter of trials. There's a few different types of trials, like, repairing the statues in the last episode. So this is below us, and I'm trying to make sure I don't overshoot it, because I don't see. Where is it? It should look like a little door. There it is. So you reach this little door. The little door will open, and the timer will start once you step through the door. It won't start before you step through the door. Even when the door opens, it'll only start once you step through. So the idea is to hit these points so you can capture the little energy balls. Oops. And this is what sometimes happens. So if you fall, you still have time to climb back up. You got that one, and you want to grab that one as you go for the door. And you'll get an artifact. So if you fall all the way down, it's better to just jump off a cliff and die, because then you'll respawn at a checkpoint. If you fall below that and you don't die, you end up on a cliff somewhere, then you have to figure out how to get back to your starting destination. And there's no mark on the map that tells you where the starting point is for that particular subquest. I know that because it happened to me several times. I was like, oh, how do I get back to where I was? There's nothing that tells me I need where it is. And so I decided to throw myself off the cliff, and then it sort of respawns you where you need to be. Or at least at a checkpoint, not where you need to be. You still have to get to that destination. Again, you can see where stamina becomes a thing in terms of making your way. Even though it's fairly self-contained in this area, you still have to get there. That little door there is not the door. That's a different door. You'll know you're at the right door because the door will be closed. And will only open when you approach it. In this particular case, this door is already open, so either we've already been here, or it's the end point. I don't think it's the end point. No, it's not the end point. But it may be one of the doors from the other one. It's kind of hard to tell. The doors all look exactly the same, but I didn't think I was on this particular plateau. But who knows? It's kind of, like I said, it's really hard to tell. But it's an interesting little quest. It requires a little patience, paying attention to the map, knowing where you are. And because the fast travel points, you have 2 of them in this region, in this little area. Neither one are. Either of the 2 will get you close to where you need to get to. So it's not like you'd have to, go 400 kilometers to find your kilometers, I think it's kilometers, to find your space. It's usually fairly close. And you don't have any... I think one of the other strange things about this part of the game is that there are very few hostiles. You do have, I guess you can call them boss fights. They are required. You're not going to get through this quest without fighting the bosses that you have to fight. But other than them, you really don't have a lot of other... Actually, you don't have any other enemies. Okay, this one is a little bit... Let's see. This one's a little bit more tricky to get to because what the map is telling you. Things I don't... Okay, that was close. That was very close. It was telling me I didn't have any stamina, and that was kind of a drop, but I didn't lose any health on that one. There's the door. So you get to the door, it will open, and the timer starts once you step through. And I never did master the Axion grapple thingy if I'm falling, or to use it to throw myself forward or something like that. Because I think some people will find this a little bit easier if they've mastered that. This is a short one, as you can see. So all you need to do is just climb. And again, stamina may be the true test of all of this. So I was trying to float over to the other side, but I realized that that's just taking up way too much time. And Kliff wants to hang on to everything when I move. And the last one is always at the door. You see I had 10 seconds left, so you know, you get a nice little buffer. So I guess it's giving you the opportunity that if you do fall and you're able to Axion force yourself back up, you're usually okay. Okay, so once again went to the fast travel point to get to our next area. So the third Zhejiang temple training ground. Kliff took a moment to meditate there. Now we have to climb again. So in the last episode, we discovered that I think it was in the last episode. I don't want to spoil it if we didn't do it in this episode. I'm like, okay, wait, should I say? I'll wait a little while and tell you what we discovered. I think it was in the last episode, but I'll wait just to be on the safe side. Oops. Yeah, the darn trees are getting in my way. Yeah, and there might be other ways to... Actually, I guess there is always more than one way to get to where we're trying to get to on the map. It's just... Because as you can see, I'm not like following steps or following a road or anything. So whichever way you can get to where you need to get to is the way you should do it. So for me, it's sort of looking at the map and sort of going directly there. Smart move is always get up top. If you're above it, then it's easier to sort of drop down. Then stamina is less of an issue. There's the door right there. All right, Kliff, why are you climbing? The door is right there, buddy. I didn't think these birds those type of birds actually fly that high. But they always stayed near the water. Okay, so this is this door. The cut scene, the little cut there, the little edit there was after a failed attempt. This one was a little bit tricky. Unlike Naue in Assassin's Creed, Kliff doesn't have her jumping skills quite the same. Now this, you're not likely to fall off of it. The reason I'm moving faster is because when I attempted this the first time, I was sort of taking my time going across because I was afraid Kliff would fall, and I ran out of time just as I got to the door, which was incredibly frustrating. But as you can see, I have plenty of time. Right? Got almost like 20 seconds left, so once you know what you're doing, it's easy. It's when I didn't know what I was trying to do or where I was going that it became a little bit more frantic. Okay, so now that we are done with that, we are going to go back to a gentleman we met in the previous episode. He had a little bit of an attitude with us. He was meditating in a temple-like area. Had some rough road words for us. There he is down there. And he's one of the bosses we're going to have to fight. I had a feeling that we were going to have to fight him. Now, he doesn't use weapons. He's an unarmed combatant, but I'm pretty sure you can use weapons, although he doesn't. Okay, now, unlike the first time, when you show up this time, he's going to be sort of taking on some enemies.
He fancies himself a saint.
They won't attack you. They'll attack him.
You stinking rat!
If you must persist with your wicked ways, I will set you on the righteous path.
Listen to me.
Kliff was trying to help him out, but it didn't quite work. So it's a 1v1. It's only one phase. He hits incredibly hard. And you don't want to get trapped by those. Or you don't want to get stun locked by those. Definitely want to use your force palm when you get a chance.
None pay attention to such weakness.
And you want to move a lot.
Powerless is but a whisper.
I don't know what he's doing now. No, that little move could have killed me. So Deathbringer is good in this fight because even without hitting him, Aton's orbs will also do some damage. Okay, I got a little greedy and paid the price. I broke his there we go.
Justice is wrought by the hands of the strong. That is the truth of this world.
True strength.
What a move.
Can only come from humility.
Okay, so again, these are trials of enlightenment for Kliff. So every one of these is a sort of a test. And the good thing is we get an artifact. So we got 3 artifacts from the trials going through those doors. We have an artifact from him, so that's 4 artifacts in like 15 minutes. That's pretty good. Okay, so now I think we have to return to the kid to let him know that we've sort of dealt with this guy. And that little fast travel point is a little bit further away, but again, when compared to all of Highwell, it's not. This area is not like Hernand or Payloon or any of the other regions. It's fairly small. Our goal is to get to the pagoda, which we saw earlier in the game. Didn't go there because wasn't sure we were supposed to interact with it. Yeah, I'm not sure what pelicans are doing on a mountain. Or egrets or whatever they are. You can see it's right across on that peak. And remember, some of these peaks were submerged before we did an earlier series of quests in the last episode. But I don't remember whether this was one of them because I saw the pagoda earlier, so I guess it wasn't. So one of the things I guess the developers were really thoughtful about, realizing that since Kliff can go anywhere in the game, and you're not going to ride a horse up here, you'll end up having to climb. You know, when the designers built these mountains and cliffs, they made sure that they put a lot of areas where you can actually rest and regain your stamina in. Thankful. Because they, instead of being craggy like these, they could have been smooth. But everywhere you go, you can climb. Now, some have fewer resting places. There's a couple areas in Crimson Desert that doesn't have nearly as many resting places as this one. And Hernand is the beginning of the game, so when you're climbing in Hernand at the start of the game, you generally don't have as much stamina, so it becomes a little bit more of a struggle to get around. But this is the pagoda. What was that noise? Oh, it was a door opening. I was like, what was that? Ah, looks like we have an abyss gate. Not expecting that. So, who we're gonna meet now? Okay, we have a fast travel point unlocked. But I don't know whether will we ever need to come back here? Okay, the goal is face the inner self, achieve enlightenment. The achieve enlightenment is one that's just going to keep showing up. So it's not all that helpful in telling you what exactly that means. And again, no enemies. Okay, I see steps to the left, a path to the right, water in the middle. Okay, we need to actually power this up. Alright. There's a chest here that we should take. That we should loot. Diamond and some other kind of stone that's a new stone for us. It probably is something that is required for max level upgrading or something along those lines. What I've learned after selling a bunch of stuff that I find like that is I should never have sold those things. Like iron ore, copper ore, and all those other types of minerals that you can find in the game. You should never sell any of that stuff. You know, sometimes I sold it because it was just taking up space in my inventory. The problem is then I have to go and buy it in order to upgrade my weapons and my other kinds of things. Okay, see that little spot in the wall? That's telling us we need to force palm it to release the water that was in the room above us. Okay. Now we can go back to that room and locate the power core that we need to power up that the abyss gate. I'm gonna keep fawning over how great this game is. I love this game. Okay, so I can tell that the power, well, we know power core is down there because when we were upstairs, we can sort of see it below us. The question is, where do I take it to? Yeah, of course. And I can't seal it in my cuckoo pot, which is annoying. Okay, so it's not in the same room. You have to take it out of the room and upstairs one level to find this platform that you can attach it to. It's sort of cheap that you couldn't seal this one. I don't understand why you wouldn't be able to. That's a little bit of an inconsistency there. You can seal all kinds of cores. Okay, so power that up. Okay, now we can activate the gate. Oh, okay, it wasn't activated. Was it activated? Oh, okay, no, it was not. Gotcha. Okay. We have another artifact. Wow, this little quest is giving us a boatload of artifacts. Okay, so we're not... Okay, so... Okay, the map is telling us to go back the other way. Yeah, this little section is not exactly intuitive in terms of what do you do, because the achieve enlightenment never goes away. It sort of stays there the whole time. You're like, okay, so what does that mean? So I'm taking my time because I feel like if I fall off this thing, I'm going to have to start all over again. I guess I wouldn't, because there's a fast travel point up here. Yeah, I guess I would not. All right, so let's... Here is the... Here's the gate, but the marker is telling us that's not where we need to go, so let's go back. Ah, let's get these palmer pills. The refined palmer pills. Nice. And we have a recipe for it. I have not crafted any of this stuff. And I guess in one of my non-recording sessions, I should probably grab the ingredients and make a lot of this kind of stuff in preparation for the end game. Okay, I guess Kliff is going to have another meditative moment.
Ah, you're here! That old man sent you, didn't he? Still going on about all is one and all that hogwash, I bet.
Master
One or two, who
Zhejiang.
cares? It's all too complicated for me. Anyway, getting here couldn't have been easy. Then breathe. Let your head cool a while.
I was told I could find guidance here.
Guidance? What do you need that for? You're doing well enough on your own. I like you just the way you are, don't you?
I'm not sure.
Good or bad, life goes on, so it's best to just go with the flow. Try too hard and you'll just trip over your own feet. Stop overthinking and just keep doing what you do. Go help a few lost souls, and you'll see what I mean. That'll teach you a real lesson. May peace and light be with you.
I've been doing that the whole game.
Wait, I still have...
Okay, so I guess I haven't achieved enlightenment. That was odd. That was probably the oddest part of this. So we haven't. You remember we had multiple stone tablets that we needed to deal with, right? There were 1, 2, I think there were 4. I don't remember what number we're at now, but we're continuing those quests that will, I guess, lead to our enlightenment. I don't remember what the message is, but it'll likely be part of whatever the quest is. Reveal the secret of the stone tablet. Well, that's not helpful. Oh, Fragments of Darkness. Okay, so we're heading over to this little area, which is likely to lead to another one of those gates. I'm not quite sure why they decided to do it this way. We've been to this little town before. We haven't done a lot here, actually. This was an interesting little area of the game. And there were some restricted parts when we came here. We were just sort of passing through. We didn't really do anything in this area. I should probably go back to see if there are quests in this part of the game. I think invariably I'm likely to complete the game before completing all of the quests. As much of a completionist as I am, I realize that you know, right now I'm getting close to the game, and certain things can't happen until you actually complete all of the chapters. Like the move of your camp to Payloon can't happen until the end of the game.
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm glad you've come, stranger.
Huh? What are you?
Do not be alarmed. I'm neither wraith nor corpse, merely a sorcerer, stripped of power, bound to this frame. You seek the witch who would upset the balance of the world, do you not?
Aye. To set things back to their proper state.
Okay, so Kliff has been
Hexe
eating
Marie.
mushrooms. That's why he's having this
Plunders our
moment.
bodies with vile sorcery, and shakes the Order of the Abyss we've guarded for generations.
The Order of the Abyss.
There is a temple, a keystone of this world, that holds the law of nature steady. If you truly wish to restore balance, help that temple regain its strength.
Okay, the Sanctum of Mortification. Okay, that was why we couldn't do all of the Sanctums. Because one of the things I wanted to do was to complete all of the Sanctums, and sometimes I would go to one and I would hear the witch's voice saying, "You can't do that yet, you're being impatient." Okay, so we are going to cleanse the Sanctum of Mortification. In a quest called the Fragments of Darkness. You know, the Sanctums are so much easier to cleanse now for me than they were earlier in the game. Now that I figured out how to get the flying enemies. Okay, this blue stuff, you don't want to walk through it. As soon as you fly over it, it sort of saps your strength. So, and the Sanctum is like right here. You hear the music playing already, which means there are enemies nearby. And you can see them on the mini-map. I have Snow with me. Whenever we find a lot of these enemies, we take their loot and we go back and we sell it. While my camp is thriving, right? We're in the six-figure across the board. I don't happen to have a lot of money in terms of, you know, Kliff's personal money to spend, which I don't really understand why I don't actually, or why I can't just take some camp money since I'm the one that's sort of, you know, doing all that stuff. And I haven't been going around stealing gold bars from people. I stole one gold bar. I thought I put it in the bank, went to the bank to see what my investments were, how my investments were paying off, and guess what? My gold bar is not in the bank. So I have no idea where the gold bar went. It's not in my inventory. I guess I can go and check my personal storage, but I don't think it's there either. So I don't know whether I'm just not understanding the whole bank thing or not. This place is eerily quiet. No, okay, I see on the mini-map there are enemies. There's the music. I was like, why is it so quiet here? What are these little... This has got Elden Ring vibes. the little clay pots, but I'm not sure. Interesting. So we decided to throw in one more new enemy type. And we haven't even gotten to the mechanical enemies yet, so I'm guessing that that's coming up pretty soon. Not in this chapter, but likely in the next chapter. And by the way, that is once you work your way through that, you're able to get mechs to work for you. So in some of the dispatch missions, you can have mechs. Which is the other thing about the end game, is that so you will have to move your camp from Howling Hill to Payloon. You can't maintain both camps, but you can't open the one in Payloon until the end of the game. And you're still able to build it and stuff like that. So I guess the intention of the developers is that you would continue to play the game afterwards if you want to be a completionist. But there's certainly things you can do before you get to that point. So obviously you have to finish the main story. To get the true ending, you have to finish the main story, and you have to have completed all of the Abyss Gates. And then you get the true ending. But after that, the game continues in terms of whether or not you want to complete all of the faction quests, whether or not you want to. So there's a lot of other things to do. It may be easier because all the main bosses are gone at that point. There are some powerful beings who are also bosses that I think the developers expect you to do post-game. They're not locked behind the end of the game, though, because I've already fought one of them. The Altumbra final boss. I forget which one he was. Another one I've attempted to fight twice and lost both times badly. He's an ice-based boss. I can't figure out how to beat him yet. And I'm guessing I need a cuckoo spear that's fire-based. Haven't unlocked any of the elements yet, which I sort of feel like I should have unlocked at least one or two of them by now. So I need to sort of find out which elements which quests allow me to unlock elements. Like the imbue, fire, frost, lightning. So yeah, I'm not quite sure why I haven't unlocked those. I wouldn't think you'd have to get to the end of the game in order to do that. So maybe that's one of those things I'll do in between. There's a lot of in-between stuff I have to do. There's that. I will definitely finish the witch quest. I probably will show you those. So following this sanctum, I think there'll be 3 more that will complete the totality of all of the witch sanctums in the game. So I probably will show those. Now that it's easier for me to clear the sanctums, I think I'll show those. I don't know what the reward is for doing all of them, or what the achievement is for doing all of them. Yeah, if you didn't know, you can sort of snatch items through those iron bars. Okay, this is a different kind of enemy. Ouch. Okay, he just looks different. He's definitely not stronger. The other thing I need to do is settle on the Abyss gears for my different. I'm not gonna keep. I think I mentioned this in the last episode. I'm not gonna keep this particular outfit. I like it, but you can't socket any Abyss gears into it. So it's sort of limited in terms of where it is now. It's served me well, but I suspect that I'm probably leaving something on the table by not going to one of the other ones. So when I fought the boss Ator, I actually got his, which is probably better. They all max out the same, but since this one you can't really do. I guess you can refine it, but you can't socket anything into it. So I don't want to spend time refining it because it doesn't have sockets, which means it's still going to be sort of not best in class. It'll likely be always second tier for me, but I'll always have it if I need it. There is another sort of armor set that protects you against frost. I mean, that was why I got this. There's another armor set that protects against frost. I'm assuming, but I'm not sure that one has stuff you can slot in. There's also a cuckoo armor set that you can do. Trying to set these guys on fire. That doesn't work. Well, it says hit 5 targets at once with blinding flash. I guess I'm not doing it correctly, but the arrows will work. I am never getting rid of this weapon. It is so OP, and it's not even max level. Okay, that purple stuff looks dangerous, so we're gonna hold off a moment. I'm looking to make sure that I'm not. I know where the where we have to cleanse it. It's where the purple stuff is, but I'm just making sure there's no treasure or something nearby that I need to get. Ah, okay. White Crow is helping us out. Okay, there we go. All right. I was worried that we had to clear this stuff before we can actually do any of this, but White Crow took care of that. Okay, now we can go ahead and plug in the pieces that we need to and get this going. Yeah, I don't know what all of these things do. These are cores that I've found throughout the game, either from defeating a boss. The ones in the sanctums you need, and you leave them in the sanctum. But once you cleanse the sanctum, you actually get a power core from the sanctum. I know a lot of people have been leaving them because they think it's over once they cleanse the sanctum. But you can actually get the power core from the sanctum once you cleanse it. But no one tells you what do you do with those. Are they needed for the end game? I doubt it, since most players have never gotten to that point and people have finished the game. Okay, one part done. And we have a little power core that we need. It's always, of course, the furthest from where I start. Alright. They've made these a lot easier to put in, by the way. Early in the game, it was so tricky to get these, to slot these into the spot. Now it's a lot more forgiving. If you just get it in the area and use force palm, you're able to get it. Now, which should show up.
You've restored the Sanctum. This place vexes those who hunger for chaos, like Hexe Marie. I sense her, hiding within her own domain, drawing strength in darkness. First, you must destroy the stone ward that masks her presence. It will not be an easy battle. Keep cautious and vigilant.
Okay, so she is not the one that actually gives me the quest for the final 3 sanctums. There's another witch we will eventually have to find in order to do that. But for now, we are going to make the power core, and then we're going to find Hexe Marie, who is Crowcaller's mom, by the way. Okay. And Crowcaller, or Hexe Marie, is actually White Crow's dark side, if that makes any sense. There's a bunch of lore to this game that would be helpful to find out in game, actually. Okay, we're going to do this. Neat. So again, I'm not sure what taking these are, but my understanding is you're supposed to take them, so that's why I'm taking them. I had to go back and get the first 2 because I didn't know that and had completed 2 sanctums. But once you cleanse the sanctum, the enemies don't come back, so you can always just go back and grab them. Okay, so Hexe Marie is... Okay, so I see marked on the map the 3 totems that we have to destroy in order to get to Hexe Marie. This is beyond the veil. Yeah, I know I must be missing a fast travel point somewhere. Because typically either a crescent or an actual fast travel point is usually nearby. It's weird that in this area we haven't found any yet. Okay, we're not even close yet. This must be some other enemy camp. Okay, there is a crescent. All right. All right, so let's go. Yeah, it wasn't on the side that I was on. It was on the opposite side. So let's do that. That's closest. So what we're going to do is we are going to directly deal with the totems. And I don't know what this stuff is. It doesn't seem to be affecting my health, whatever this is that I'm... Is it brimstone? What is this stuff? Looks like sulfur. What we're going to do is we are going to be smart, and we're going to use a charged shot to destroy the totem. If you go down there, there are tons of enemies around. And you don't need to go down there to complete the objective. So there's one of the totems right there. So what we're going to do, we're going to land. Okay, one done. We go on to the next one. They're marked on the mini map, so they're easy to find. I don't know why I did that, because they're already marked. I don't guess it really matters where they're as long as you get them all. And as you can see, there's something to mine down there, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. As you can see, you can avoid the hostilities by just staying above the fray. And even if the enemies spot you and start coming towards you, you can get away before they get to you. So where is it? Oh, there are the enemies right there. Nice. I think that's the first time I shot something while I was flying. Ouch. No. Alright, Snow is collecting bloodstone. He's collecting a whole bunch of stuff. I don't know. You just keep on doing that, buddy. Okay, so getting back up on high ground, we can go back to our original plan, which is not to fight these guys and just deal with the totems. Get some more spirit. Yeah, I guess I could have always eaten something to get spirit, but it's just easier to do it this way. It doesn't cost you anything. Okay. Let's go on to... we have a fast travel point for this. And the totem is right ahead. Okay. Alright, we got one more. Got it. Okay. So now, I guess Hexe Marie is going to hunt us down. Her son was a pain in the ass to fight. Maybe she's going to be a little bit easier or more difficult. I'm not sure which. I'm a little bit more confident in my fighting skills now, so I'm not too worried. There's Crowcaller. Crowcaller propped up against a tree. So defeat the Black Witch. At this point, if you need to go... Actually, I don't know, because you didn't fast travel in here, so... I was going to say, at this point, well, you're not too far away, but if you needed to go back to your camp to get meat or stuff like that, it would be a good time to do it, but... Now, once you're in here, I think it'd be a little bit more difficult to do that. Hey, buddy. I'm here to pay my respects. I hope they embalmed you. You've been dead a while.
How disappointing. You couldn't even carry out your mother's command. Not that I ever expected much from you. You've served your purpose. Now, I'll reclaim my power. You've come all this way to fill my empty void! How precious! Deep down, you already knew that joining me is the only choice. You desire me, don't you?
Foul-tongued witch!
Just like my child. You need to be broken in! He was not worthy of being my son!
Okay, so she has two faces.
Gods of night, created at my very soul!
Okay, if I die, I'll show the first attempt and the last attempt.
I should thank you for ridding.
This looks like it's going to be one of those kind of fights. So far, the easiest thing to avoid are the crows.
Watching you from afar for so long has set my very blood aflame. You truly live up to my expectations.
Okay, so far so good. All of these bosses now have teleportation skills. Okay, I need to heal.
You're the far superior being.
Greymane, will you not be my son?
Your words reek of deceit, witch.
You're the only one worthy to be called my son. White Crow is nothing but a fragile husk of my Yet, she molded you into a fine woman. Consider it, Greymane.
All right, so
He was never worthy of being my son.
I decided to start the fight over again. Maybe to no avail since I'm down to very little health. Yeah, so the key is to get your force palm in, do some heavy damage, and then back off before you run out of stamina. Sometimes she teleports away before you can do a lot of damage.
You truly live up to my expectations.
She actually seems to let you get close enough to do the force. Ouch. She lets you get close enough to do the force palm. So that makes it a lot easier. I'm stuck in a corner here. I need to get my spirit going. What happened to it? I didn't do anything there.
As I thought, you're the far superior being.
Greymane, will you not be my son?
Your words reek of deceit, witch.
Okay.
You're the only
So
one
a better
worthy
outcome
to
this
be called
time.
my son.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna revive. We're not gonna start this all over again. I think I can make it through the second phase.
She molded you into a fine woman. Consider it, Greymane. If such a wraith could shape you into this.
I should have released it when she was right in front of me.
What you could be by my side.
Nature Snare can be a very potent ability. I'm just never sure what circumstances you can use it in. select again. I wonder if I needed to aim it at her, or because I'm locked on, it'll just automatically go there. So we're going to use another one of these. I'm not worried about using them because if the fight starts over again and I die, I'll get them back. I'll try to be more aggressive. I think I spent so much time running away from her, it gave her an opening, so I'm not going to do that. I'm out of healing. I'm like, okay. I'm guessing this is an automatic ending here.
You're what twisted
him. Unless the cutscene goes away. Let's see what happens. Nope, cutscene.
Fear always dwells within that child.
She's got Kliff running from her.
You are perfection.
Okay, so we got her, we got Mirrodin, we got a whole bunch of enemies that sort of disappeared at the end of the fight, and so I don't know whether that's a defeat or not. So demonstrate steadfast resilience. Cloister of Enlightenment. Okay. So it just immediately sends you into the next quest. It's like, okay, you liberated this region, cool. So the little red building should disappear from this little part of the map. There were a few. Blockade is gone. Fort Musket, I think, is where the end game stuff takes place. Kliff has no health left, so at some point we need to go and get some food and do all that good stuff. Do not click on that little thing in the middle, that little looks like a cogwheel in the middle, because that will just start the fight all over again. I did that with Ludwig, and he kicked my butt the second time around. Okay, Tashkalp seems to be... place where I can go. I don't know. I guess it doesn't really matter because you can fast travel anywhere you want. So I could have gone back to Howling Hill or Hernand. You know, get all the stuff I need. And instead I went to Tashkalp, which don't ask me why. So now we're going to demonstrate steadfast enlightenment. As you can see, we're in the Crimson Desert. Okay, so is this all connected? We'll find out. I think it might be. She was an intense boss, actually. She was pretty intense. More intense than the guy I fought back at the temple. So I'm sure someone is ranking all the bosses in this game, or at least all the main bosses in this game. I haven't seen that ranking yet. I should look for it. This one seems closer than, closer than the other one. So why don't we? It's sort of the same setup. So why don't we hop down and sort of see? The game has traumatized me with enemies popping out from everywhere, but I'm guessing that this is like the area we were in before, where there aren't very many enemies. I wonder what the inspiration was for some of the design in this game. Some of it looks pretty amazing. I can see the different cultures, right? There's some Eastern culture, some Mid-Eastern culture.
Fan the flames within your heart. Boil your blood to the final drop.
That sounds painful. Okay, so it took me a while to figure out how to open this thing. You know, I tried force palming, and all you have to do is push against it. Leaning against it won't work. Force palming won't work. But it doesn't tell you what you need to do to open it. So it's one of those weird kinds of things where it's, I guess it's a type of puzzle. So after 5 minutes of trying to figure it out, all you need to do is push it. And you need enough health, because it does take your health when you're doing that, but you get all of your health back once you complete it. So if you are not at the right level, I'm guessing you wouldn't be able to get in here. All right, next gate is demonstrate unyielding will. And it's the same process. You go to the gate, and you push it, and you go through.
Let the starlight of your soul sink into the still sea of will.
Well, that sounds better than the first one of letting my blood boil to the last drop, or whatever it was he said. Okay, so the first one used health, this one uses spirit. So the spirit gauge goes down, and it comes back once you complete it. Okay. Now we need to demonstrate
Walk the
boundless figure.
unending road, unwavering in resolve.
I'm guessing this one will be stamina. Let's see. No, I don't see a stamina bar, so. Oh yeah, I do. I see it. It was right in front of me. Sort of blended into the palette. Okay. Meet the mysterious speaker. Is he gonna make us fight him?
Who would build a temple in a place like this?
Master Do.
It's been a harsh journey, yet you've made it.
You.
A sword unrefined, yet honing its edge. Let's see how your trials have tempered your blade.
I won't hold back. Understand?
You assume the stance of a student. Engage me. Here I am. As expected. Take that as you will.
Okay, so we'll be fighting Yoda's apparently.
A sword is not swung with strength alone.
And he has two faces. And he can
Recall what your
teleport.
trials have already taught you.
Well, at least he's not trash talking. He's actually teaching me stuff while he's talking while he's kicking my butt. What's amazing, excuse me, what's amazing about that was that jumping back and forth thing, I stayed locked on the entire time. So I don't know whether there's been an improvement in the lock-on mechanic by Pearl Abyss, or whether or not just for this fight I stay locked on, because I gotta tell you, almost every fight I've had up to this point, you lose the lock-on. In this case, it's on. So maybe they've made the lock-on more stable, which is very helpful. I'm playing on normal difficulty. I didn't change it to difficult difficulty just because I know people who do that. Like, I need more of a challenge, and then pick the goal more difficult. I actually like the story and like to progress the story, so I don't tend to do that. Although you can outscale the game in certain games, and just level up to the point where even in New Game Plus or playing on difficult, it won't change it that dramatically. Although I'm not sure about this game.
Wild swings never find their mark. Let your skill flow through your sword.
Now
The blade you watch for finds you first.
We should be in phase 2 now. I don't know whether he's going to do anything different. Let's see.
Still chasing what you've seen with your eyes.
No, it looks like the same moveset.
See only what is tangible, and you lose sight of the truth. See your true enemy.
What the hell is this? Okay, this is different.
Essence beyond form.
Okay. At least I was behind one of these columns, which saved my life when he was bouncing around like that. What the hell is it? Oh, I'm learning something. Blinding flash finisher. Repeatedly press R2 while using blinding. Repeatedly press R2. I won't remember for this fight because I'm just trying to stay alive. I'm guessing the game wants me to do that. What the hell is that? Dude. He's got all kinds of things going on. So do I want to start this over? No. Yeah, use the second phase. Just need to be careful. Keep using this palm. Stun lock him. I broke his poise again. Out of stamina. Bad time to be out of stamina. Okay, there we go. I was like, oh my god.
So, you've begun to feel it at last. This meeting may seem like chance, yet our fate was woven long ago. Past and future are one. A present kindness is the seed of tomorrow's salvation. The defeats of yesterday will grant you the wisdom to shape your tomorrow. So, keep these words close to your heart. In the end, all things are fated to flow back together. Follow me.
Okay, so all of the stuff that he was telling us, head to the Spire of the Sun. All the stuff that he was telling us, which is very difficult to listen to while we're trying to stay alive. So I wish there was a better way to do that. They're important to the lore of the game, right? Now you might not know that because, again, you're busy trying to not die. Although I guess you couldn't die since he was trying to teach you enlightenment. You would just have to start it all over again. Basically, he's one of the guardians, along with White Witch and what's the other guy's name? Alustin. They basically have been sort of engaged in this social engineering sort of experiment to get it right in order to save the world.
Now meet your end.
I didn't
Stop
know
right there.
I have snow with me, so we can pick up any treasure we get from being on this.
Right into my lap.
So as I mentioned in the last episode, this is not the first version of Kliff. In fact, this is the 108th version of Kliff. So each time one of the Kliffs fail, the Guardians create another timeline. I guess it's not another Kliff, or maybe a whole nother timeline. And each time they do it, they change something, right? And so the reason Kliff is the way he is today is because of all the changes they've made after learning from the previous versions of Kliff. So, you know, I thought about it earlier, and I thought, this is my psychology background coming out. He's got the flattest affect of any character I've ever seen. He's just so emotionless. Well, part of that is because they created him that way. It isn't a flaw in terms of the developers just not having a sense to give Kliff emotions. It was designed this way because of the previous Kliffs, right? The previous Kliffs were so, his comrades were so important to him that he let his emotions govern how he sort of reacted, and that led to failure. And so it's a very interesting lore. I wish they had worked it into the game, though. I mean, I don't know why they didn't. It's fascinating, and unless you play through to get the true ending, you will never know this. You'll know it because I'm telling you, but if you play through and just get an ending to the game, it won't reveal any of this stuff. It's sort of a bit of an abrupt ending at the end. But if you play through, well, I guess maybe it's abrupt because if you play through and you stop with the credits roll, then it's abrupt. But if you continue to play after you complete the final main quest, you probably can still get to that point. So I may be wrong about that. I think you can still get there. But you have to commit to continuing once you've finished the main campaign. I could have sworn that there was a fast travel point to get back here. I have to walk back here. Why do I have to walk up here? I thought there was, if we're going back to the Abyss, I could have sworn there was a fast travel point. This is going to take us to an Abyss gate. Because we've been here before. We did this when we met Goyen. Interesting that we would have to do this again. So there should be an Abyss gate up here, and there is. Unless this is a different one, but I think it's the same. It's the same gate. Yeah, there's the fast travel point right there. So maybe it was my bad for not clicking R3 to look at where the marker was, I guess. Because it would have really gotten us here a lot faster. Okay, by the way, when we were here before, I forgot to pick up the most important item here, which is the sword that Goyen used in the last episode against me. It's probably going to replace my current one-handed sword. It's a good sword. It's right here. Yeah, I don't know how I forgot that. I did actually search the room. I didn't want to sort of steal all of Goyen's stuff just in case he decides he's coming back. I don't know whether he's coming back or whether he's gone forever. Goyen is the 107th version of Kliff. Or maybe he's the first version of Kliff. No, I guess he's the 107th, because each of the other Kliffs failed. So otherwise we'd be running into all of them. So you get a sword. I don't think you get his armor, although his armor looked pretty cool, or his shield, which also looked pretty cool. But the sword is nice. Okay, so this looks like we are going to be actually this time crossing the abyss versus just being here, because before we didn't really do any of the things that we were doing in the previous in the previous ones where we had to activate the abyss gates. So we're gonna follow what looks like a simple path, although scary when you look over the edge. And again, now that you have more stamina, you're able to sort of traverse these a lot easier than earlier in the game. The other thing too is that you have consumables that you can use. So if you end up if it looks like a huge distance away, like I said, I invested heavily in stamina, and then in spirit and health last. So looks like we need to go there from looking at the mini map. So if you don't have a high level of stamina, you can still do this, because there seems to be some other stopping points that you can sort of get to before you get to this one. I have no idea where the water is coming from up here. You see the water leading to a waterfall, and I'm like, where's that coming from? Alright, here is the... Use the device to activate the gate. What device are you talking about? Okay, I guess when we walk through the gate, let's check up here first. But when we walk through the gate, there's a device that will come out of the ground that you need to activate. At least that's the way the other ones work. I'm assuming this one works the same way. Yeah, because there's nothing up here. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing something. There's no loot, there's no enemies, so the only thing for you to do up here is what the game is telling you to do. Occasionally, there's a spare artifact hanging out, which could still be the case up here. I'm not sure. Okay, there you go. I don't know why this little this little creature is up here. Do you want me to adopt you? Why are you here? I did not mean to do that. I meant to do this. Alright. Yeah, I don't know why that little rabbit creature was here. I hope I didn't knock him off the edge. Because unless he can sprout wings, he would be one dead little creature. Okay, so where are we going to next? I guess we're going to that structure just beyond the path here. Wait, we're doing all of this to get back to Master Do? Really? Okay, so this one will take us, this will transport us somewhere. We've seen these before. Okay, so where are we? I guess we're climbing. Nope, we're going this way. So in order to get the true ending to the game, these are the Abyss Gate thingies that you need to do. You need to complete all of them in the game. And I know you may be asking, well, don't you have to? Because they're all behind quest doors. Not all of them. There's one that I haven't finished. I need to go back to finish that's not behind a main quest. So I'm assuming that counts as one of the ones I need to complete in order to get the true ending. So I need to go back and do that. Oops. This game is so unique in that, you know, you have this sort of almost medieval flavor to it. You have a fantasy vibe to it as well, which sort of fits with the medieval. And then you have this sci-fi element to it, like this stuff. You know, I'm fascinated by this. I mean, I've been reading fantasy, dark fantasies, science fiction fantasy since I was a kid. I know people don't read anymore, but I'm a voracious reader. Like 25 books a year. Not all of them are fantasy science fiction. Some of them are other stuff, but I always make sure that probably more than half of them are sci-fi and fantasy. Throw some horror in there, some life stuff in there, that kind of stuff. But I love reading. Just cut to the chase instead of going step by step, since we now have the trick. And looks like we have another fast travel point. Okay, so the only thing now is to speak to Master Do. We've activated the Abyss Gate. We've unlocked all the fast travel points. I hope I don't have to fight him again. All he has to do is impart some little wisdom and I'll be on my way. I don't actually see him. But then again, he might just do the voice thing, disembodied. Oh no, he's up there. Never mind. I thought I was there, but I'm not. Okay. So yeah, this is where stamina stamina becomes a thing. Not only do you have to fly to the other side, but you have to climb. So you want to make sure you have your stamina regen consumables, because you're going to need them. And again, at this point in the game, right, we're in chapter 9, you should have invested in stamina. I'm not sure what people, how people are sort of actually investing in terms of this stuff. In a lot of games, I would invest in health first, because I usually play squishy mage type characters. But in this one, since you don't get to choose that, I mean, I guess you can choose a playstyle, but you will always be a melee character. Even with the bow and arrow, you'll still end up being a melee character. Now, if you figured out how to use the stab mechanic, you probably are pretty safe. If you stab your way across and then stab your way up, you still need stamina for that, by the way. But here you do have areas where you can sort of rest on, but if you are getting close, it's better to be safe than sorry. Now when you get to this little section, there's no rest area. You just need to keep going. And like I said, better to be safe than sorry, so don't push it to the very edge and then wish you had done that. After you fall off, there's Master Do up ahead. Is that a battle stance, or is that a I have some more wisdom for you stance? Let's get my weapon ready. Let's take that off, put some food on. Master Do. He's got me a little nervous. He's so intimidating.
What do you know of the Abyss?
Not much.
The Abyss and reality cannot be separated. They are one and the same. The Abyss holds what power the world itself cannot contain. If it collapses, reality will collapse with it. Unfortunately, any who have had a taste of its power become a slave to it, always yearning for more. To such people, balance and peace are nothing but illusions. I'm certain you've seen it yourself. The shards of power shed by the Abyss, and the horrors committed by those who wield those artifacts. They are no longer content with those crumbs, which is why they plot to open the gate.
What's behind it?
Pure power, raw and untamed.
The moment it's claimed by a single hand, ruin is sure to follow.
Fort Musket. They've sealed themselves within, scheming to force open the gate, even if it dooms us all.
You alone cannot stop them. You will need the strength of many to stand with you.
Remember the path you've walked, and those who have always fought beside you.
Remember this well. That gate must never open.
Okay. Return to camp. So we're going to go back to the camp. And that sort of... Master Do circlet. Huh. Okay. It unleashes a burst of light infused with power, dealing damage. Wow. I need to equip that. So one of the things that I guess the Guardians were hinting at is that the reason why we are engaged with all of these factions, right? The purpose for doing that, right? Otherwise, again, you know, people talk about the story and not understanding it, or what's the meaning of all of this stuff. Well, the purpose for that is you're going to need them for the big battle at the end. Now, I don't know whether it changes the outcome, since there are only two real endings of the game. There's the ending, and then there's the true ending. I don't know whether they're impacted by the number of people, the number of factions that you have, that you've developed relationships with. You know, I've done a lot of faction quests. Some of them on screen and some of them behind the scenes. And I will continue to do them, because some of them are fun. But early in the game, I wondered, why am I doing all of this? And now it sort of makes more sense, is that the more of these relationships you develop by helping people out, the more allies you have at the end. Right? The whole Battle of Calfade, Stefan Langford was very happy that we helped him. In Hernand, they were all helpful for the work that we did helping them. We're seeing the same thing in some of these other areas like Demonis and Delicia. So I think it serves, so that's the real purpose that it serves, is for whatever this fight is at the end, you'll have more allies involved. Now, ultimately, I think is going to be a battle between Kliff and something else. I don't think it's going to be like the battle at Calfade, where we had these armies fighting, but we'll see. So let's talk to our crew here.
You're all here.
Kliff. By the fucking ancestors! Where the fuck have you been, eh? You nearly died of old age here.
Bit of a skirmish with Caliburn. Got a good thrashing, but some fine folk patched me up.
Who the fuck is Caliburn?
And I learned something important. Caliburn and Myrddin are plotting something huge at Fort Musket.
The day we brought down Bastille, we saw a massive structure floating towards the fort. And that's not all. Caliburn's men are taking the prisoners there as well. Which means it must all be connected.
What the hell's going on?
Shut up, this is serious.
Kliff, tell us what to do.
I'll help however I can.
Right, so, who do I get to stick first?
Hey!
What's that for?
What the idiot means is hesitation isn't really our style.
We must stop Caliburn's men at Fort Musket. If we fail to do so, countless lives will be lost.
Right then, Fort Musket. Let's blow the bloody thing to pieces.
We can't do this alone. Naira, gather all of the Greymanes.
Consider it done.
Unka, contact Stefan
About
and Calfade.
fucking time. Kliff, what about me?
Inform Marquis Circus of the situation.
I'm as good as there. See you, lads.
I'll speak with Torstein.
Damien, can we count on support from Demonis as well?
We all know that we have to fight against Caliburn. If we are to stop the coming catastrophe. Countess Azarian, Duke Wells, and others will move soon.
Once everyone's ready, let's assemble.
Where exactly?
Damien, you know a good location?
There is an outpost on the road to Fort Musket. We can use it to our advantage.
All right, let's move.
So we have completed Chapter 9, The Sage of the Desert. Chapter 10, Counterattack. We will not actually start right now. We're going to do some side stuff. Let's look at the little cutscene first. We're going to do side stuff, and then we're going to come back and do Chapter 10 after a couple of episodes of continuing other quest lines, and then we'll get back to the main quest. Right. Thank you guys for joining me. This is Reg with PaxAriaGaming, with uploads every Tuesday and Friday. If you like this video, hit the like button. Please subscribe. I thank you all for supporting me on this little journey. For the subscribers that I have, thanks for joining me and thanks for hanging in there. I will see you in the next episode. Take care. Bye.